everybody. Welcome. We are doing our Flawless Foundation Part 2 tonight. So it's going to be a lot of fun. You're going to learn a ton of great stuff about foundations, such as how do you find your perfect shade? How do you find the foundation that's right for your skin type? How do you find the correct coverage? All of those things. Okay, so right now I have the beautiful Allison joining me, and we may have Ashley Seifert joining us here in a minute as well. Okay, so we're going to kick this off and get started. But I want to know, my first question to you is, do you wear foundation? That's the first question. So do you wear foundation? So here's the deal, guys. Foundation is actually a really important step of a good skincare routine. It's like super important because it is literally the barrier between your skin and the environment. So if you've ever seen me talk about skincare, you've seen or heard me say that there are little things like little Pac-Men that are out floating around ready to chomp all your healthy skin cells. Those are called free radicals. And if you wear foundation, when those free radicals are out there chomping, they actually, more of them stick to your foundation than get absorbed into your skin, okay? So it is a big benefit to your overall skin health to actually wear foundation. Now, my next question is, how many of you feel like you actually know your shade? Like what shade you are in foundation? I finally do. Okay, but if I'm being 100% honest, 12 years ago, I did not know my shade. Okay, I went through the majority of high school wearing ivory foundation on a bronze face. It didn't look great, okay, but I didn't know how to apply it. My mom wasn't really a makeup girl. She just kind of had it in her makeup bag. So I just ran into her bathroom and used her foundation that was in her makeup bag because my friend said, oh, you need to start wearing makeup. So how many of you feel like at some point in your life, tell us in the comments. Remember, we like to do giveaways. Tell us in the comments how many of you feel like at one time you were wearing the wrong shade. Okay, guilty, right? So here's the deal. There are a couple different ways that you can determine your shade. In our foundations in Mary Kay, you're either going to be ivory, beige, or bronze as a color starter. Okay, so let's just say that's getting started with the color. Then we have to take a look at what's your undertone. Because just because Allison's ivory and my mom's ivory doesn't mean that they're the same undertone of ivory. So you could be ivory foundation and someone else could be ivory foundation, but if you don't have the same undertone, that color can look really, really weird on one of you and maybe match on the other one. Okay, it can turn kind of yellowy or orangey. If your foundation's turning orangey, it's not the right shade. Okay, it's not the right shade for your undertone. So I'm gonna bring our other guest up here. There she is. I see her. There's Ashley. Hey, Ashley. So with the undertone thing, you're either gonna be cool, warm, or neutral undertone. Okay, cool, warm, or neutral. So how that is gonna work is if you go out in the sun and if you burn like you just burn, you're cool. Okay, you are a cool undertone. If you go out in the sun and you burn, but then you tan, or maybe you burn once and then you pretty much tan for the rest of the summer, you're a neutral undertone. If you tend to stay the same color all year long, it's rare, but some people do, then you're a warm undertone. And if you're like me and you never burn, you only tan, then you're warm. Okay. So tell us in the comments, how do you, how do you rate cool, neutral, or warm? And would you say that you're ivory, beige, or bronze? Okay. Try to decide and tell us in the comments. Okay. So that covers how you find out which shade you're supposed to be. Which range are you supposed to be in? What's your undertone? Okay. Now that you know that, you need to find out what type of foundation is going to be best for my skin type. So tell me in the comments, are you oily? combination, normal, or dry. Okay, so combination means you're dry sometimes and you're oily sometimes as well. Oily is pretty self-explanatory, dry is pretty self-explanatory, and normal, because some people will be like, I don't really know what normal is. Normal is like, it doesn't really change. You're not really dry, you're not really oily, you're just kind of okay. Okay, so tell us in the comments what your skin type is. Now, here's the thing when it comes to your skin type. In Mary Kay, we have a variety of foundations that you can use depending on your skin type. We are going to show you 2 of those foundations tonight. One of them that you are not going to see tonight is our Endless Cream to Powder Foundation. Now, our Endless Cream to Powder Foundation is a really awesome foundation. It's great for those, especially who live in humid climates. So if it's humid where you are, or it's really, really hot and you feel like your makeup melts away a lot, then Endless Cream to Powder would be good for you. Or if you are combination to oily, Endless Cream to Powder might be a good choice for you. Endless Cream to Powder also gives more of a full coverage look. So it goes on like a cream, but it dries like a powder. So it has like a matte finish. So if you live in humid climates or hot climates, and or your combination or oily skin, that would be a foundation that you could check out. Okay. Now tonight, the 2 foundations we are going to be talking about, well, we're actually going to talk about 3. I'm going to mention one that we're going to focus a lot more on next week. But we're going to talk about CC cream tonight, our 3D, our Timewise 3D liquid foundations tonight. And then I'm going to briefly touch on our Silky setting powder. Okay. And I'm also going to show you, we are going to show you collectively how to get the right coverage that you want. Here's what I love about the foundations we're going to talk about. You can't feel them on your face. So if you are a texture freak like me, my whole thing growing up of why I didn't want to wear makeup was because I didn't like it how it felt on my skin. So if you're like me at all and you don't like how it feels on your skin, then you're going to love these options that we're going to talk about. All right. So the first option we are going to talk about is actually CC cream. Now, I have 2 people here with me that you probably recognize, Allison and Ashley. Now, tonight, as we go through this, Allison is actually going to be showing you how you can layer foundations, okay? So she's not going to really be talking. She's kind of just going to be doing her face as we're going. And Ashley's going to be showing just the CC cream coverage. We want you to see all the different types. And then I'm actually going to show you our liquid 3D foundation, just that by itself, okay? So once we get there, I have my micellar water here so I can take my makeup off, and then I'll put it back on, okay? So first, let's talk about CC cream. All right. So Ashley, you want to unmute and tell them a little bit about CC cream?
So I didn't know I was going to be putting it on, so I will put it on over top of my.
Yeah, you can put it on over top.
That's totally fine.
or Allison can, because she's putting it on at the same time.
Perfect. Yeah, I would take it on with my micellar. I just don't happen to like have it here handy. But I am wearing the CC cream today already. I can tell you that. So here it is. Yeah, so CC cream is definitely one of my favorites because it is really simple and easy for a lot of people to use. Okay, and so CC actually stands for Complexion Corrector. And so it helps to create a nice, even, just helps to even out your skin tone. It is our lightest coverage liquid foundation. It's almost sheer, and so it does feel really light. It doesn't go on heavy at all. I mean, none of them do, but in terms of coverage, it's sheer, but it's buildable. So if you feel like you need a little bit more after you put some on, you can add more and get more coverage. That's one thing that I really love about it, right? So some days I will do a quick once over, I feel good to go. Other days, maybe I'm having a little bit of a breakout, or for whatever reason, I just feel like I need a little bit more coverage. So I'll go back through and add another layer and I get more coverage. So it's buildable, it's customizable, which is great, right? Because we as women, we're not, seeing the same thing every single day, right? Our skin changes. So it's nice that you can do that. Now, the CC cream has 8 benefits in one. I think that's pretty outstanding, right? So if any of you know any of the benefits, go ahead and put them in the comments, but I am going to share about them. Okay, now it does come in 5 different shades. And I think that's really simple and easy for people to. So Allison's using very light. I have both very light and light to medium here. I kind of go back and forth between the two. Some days I even mix them a little bit. For me, I have been using very light during the winter, but I ran out, so I kind of like started to migrate back to light to medium. You might find that you have one shade in the winter and one shade in the summer. You can also mix a little bit, right? You can mix and match across foundations, but only 5 shades. And what's really magical about these CC creams is they work. They blend across skin tones so that even though there's only 5, I don't know, everyone can find a shade that works for them. Allison, would you agree? It's like magic, right? So you'll learn from some of our other foundations there are more shades, like perfecting shades, I guess you could say, but these really blend nicely across pigments, which is awesome. Okay, so 8 benefits. 1, it protects. It has SPF in it, so not only are you getting SPF from your skincare, but in here SPF 15, so you're getting some extra coverage there, which is super important because UVA and UVB rays are the #1 cause of aging. Okay, it also brightens your skin. It instantly amplifies skin luminosity and brighten your complexion. Look at that, right? She's already glowing on like the apples of her cheeks. I love it. Okay. Radiance is enhanced as the formula helps correct the look of skin discoloration and gives skin a unified tone, right? So it brightens your skin also. Okay. So it also corrects with lightweight coverage. So that CC, Complexion Corrector. So there's mineral based pigments in here, and it helps to correct the look of imperfections and just improve the overall look of your complexion with a very lightweight formula. Like I mentioned, it's almost sheer to start, and then you can build on top of it. It doesn't give you this caked on, made up appearance. It looks super, super natural. Okay. It also minimizes redness. So that's number 4 on the list of 8 benefits. So who doesn't need some redness, minimization going on, right? So it helps to minimize redness, provides its visible relief, minimizing that look of redness. There's actually vitamin E in here and a botanical extract that helps to calm and soothe the skin. Okay, so that's how it helps there. It also conceals. It instantly conceals the appearance of blemishes, and it helps to fade the look of marks from past breakouts. And it nourishes and soothes the skin again, right? So actually, really, really love that. It's actually formulated with an extract from willow bark, which is a natural source of salicylic acid, which is even in our Clear Proof line, right? So you can kind of see all the different ways that you're getting benefits. It hydrates for 10 hours. So we don't call it a tinted moisturizer, but it does hydrate, right? So some people kind of feel like that's what it reminds them of. Your skin feels hydrated, and it lasts all day, but it doesn't feel oily or greasy, right? It just feels nourished and good and hydrated. And then it reduces the visible signs of aging. Like, oh my goodness, you get this from your foundation. How amazing is that, right? So not only in your skincare, but in your makeup. It helps fine lines appear less noticeable, so your skin looks younger. It also helps to minimize the appearance of pores, while improving your skin texture. So that helps to not settle into the lines and pores, right, and just give you a nice flawless finish. And finally, it defends. It actually contains antioxidants, which we know are super, super important to fighting off those free radicals, which eat away at our healthy skin cells and make us look old. So all of that in one product, the CC cream. Okay, so tell us in the comments if you've tried this. I mean, you can't pass it up, right? Like it's amazing.
Absolutely. Okay, so now you can see Ashley's wearing the CC cream
all day.
All day. This is her all day CC cream face.
After many hours.
And then Allison has the CC cream on right now. So the really cool thing is that if you have rosacea, or if you have just like other imperfections that you feel like your skin isn't as, oh my gosh, what's the word I'm looking for? Like the tone isn't all over the same, then you can use the CC first if you like as a complexion corrector. And then you can add the Timewise liquid foundations that we're going to talk about next. You could actually add that to it next. Okay. But you don't have to. You can also wear just these Timewise foundations by themselves. Okay. You can leave the door open. It's okay. So here's what the Timewise foundations look like. Now with these, you have two different options. Okay. One option is the matte formula and one option is the luminous formula. So here's where that finish comes into play. If you like more of a dewy finish, not greasy, dewy. Okay. That's two different things. Then you're going to want the pink stripe, which Allison's holding up. That's the luminous formula. That's what she's going to be wearing. Now, if you like more of a matte finish, like myself, then you would be using the purple stripe. Okay. So you're going to see the matte on me. You're going to see the luminous on Allison. Here's a couple things that I love about these before I start to apply it, because we're also going to talk tools here with this one. And it goes the same for your CC cream as well. Sorry if you hear Emmy, but my husband's at baseball. So, I'm momming at the same time as we are live tonight. So these liquids have our 3D patented complex right in it. So the vitamin B3, the resveratrol, all that good stuff is locked up here in your foundation as well. Okay. It gives you 12 hours of moisturization in the luminous formula, and it gives you 12 hours of oil control in the matte formula. So that's pretty cool because it's going to take you from day to night. The matte formula is also humidity and sweat resistant, which is great. And then the luminous also helps your skin to look instantly brightened. So it has a little bit of a brightener in there. It also will not settle into your fine lines. So if you maybe don't wear foundation because you have larger pores or fine lines and wrinkles, this is not going to settle in there. Now, we all are wearing our Mary Kay foundation primer, which if you didn't catch that, we talked about it last week. So go ahead and watch part 1 so that you can see how to get primed and ready for foundation. So we've been primed. Okay. So this also contains light reflecting minerals plus jojoba for lasting comfort, or jojoba, however you say it, Allison. You love to correct my words. Whatever. It's all the same. It's in there. That's all that matters. No, I'm just kidding.
It works no matter what you call it.
Yeah, it's just in there. It's in there. I think there was one other thing I wanted to say. Okay, let's talk about application. So Allison, what brush are you using?
So I use different brushes for different products. I use the liquid foundation brush for my CC cream, and I'm using my slightly dirty because I used it this morning and haven't cleaned it yet. Blending brush for my full coverage.
Yes. Okay. So let's talk about that for a second. So Allison, can you hold up your liquid brush? Because I have one here, but if you have yours, can you hold that up? Yep. So see how that liquid brush is kind of on an angle? So here's what you want to know with this. This will apply any liquid foundation like a pro. You can stipple, buff, or blend your liquid foundation. So you can kind of like pat it sort of in a way and then like buff it out to apply it and blend it. And this is designed to allow you to apply product directly on the brush for no mess application. This brush will typically give you a medium coverage to your foundation, okay? Medium to full, because you can always layer it. Now with this brush, this is going to give you more of that airbrushed full coverage appearance with your foundation. If I could just, first of all of our brushes are soft, but if I had your hand right now that I could just take this across it so you could see how it feels, it almost feels like a sponge, but it's a brush because these bristles are so densely packed together that you can get that airbrushed appearance with this. And it is oval shaped. And so it's kind of like an oval on a stick that you can use. Now, another tool that Emmy's handing me, and mine's very dirty, so don't judge it because this is mine straight out of my makeup bag, is our blending sponge. Now, you can actually use this to apply more than just concealer. If you want to use it to apply your liquid foundations, your CC cream, your Timewise liquids, you 100% can do that. You can actually even use it to apply Silky setting powder, which we're going to get more into next week. Okay. But so let's go ahead, Allison, and we'll start applying this foundation. Now, here's the thing with foundations, guys. You are going to want to make sure that once you put it on your face, you give it about a minute to kind of get that color in there to make sure that it's the right shade for you. You may have to change shades going from summer to winter, okay? I am a different shade in summer and I am a different shade in winter. What's the matter, Emmy? Your butt? You're okay. Do you need your crayon?
So as you see, what we will do is have you stripe test if you want to test in person. And did you see me put on a stripe right here? And you can't see it anymore?
It just goes away. Yep. So if
That's
it disappears, if it disappears, it's your shade. Now you can see I kind of dotted my face. I like to take my brush, dot it, and then like Allison's doing, I just kind of like blend it out. And you get a really good coverage with this. Again, you can layer this. So if you go in with your first layer and you're like, oh, I need a little more in certain places, you can 100% do that. This is really hard to apply just looking into this screen, by the way.
You can also use the brushes to apply your primer, your oil mattifier, all that too, right? So anytime that you don't have to use your fingers, take advantage of it because your fingers have those oil, your natural oils on there. And so they're immediately starting against your makeup, right? And starting to break down foundation. So definitely use your tools for all the pieces.
Yep. So
look at how my pimple from earlier, it's still there, but you really can't see it. Like,
it looks like it's there.
But it doesn't look like it's there.
Right. Exactly. So you just want to make sure too, when you're applying liquid foundations, that you blend through your chin. Okay. Don't leave that like random line there. Although if it's your right shade, it really shouldn't look like a line because it can kind of disappear. Okay. So it kind of just disappears right under the neck. So that is, so I have the matte on and Allison has the luminous. So you see when Allison turns her head, she kind of glows. That's that dewy glow that she has going on. Okay, hold on. I got to grab my mirror here to make sure I'm blended in.
And notice how Allison mentioned, right? She did a stripe test on her face, not on her arm or hand. Like I know so many times before I've seen that or heard that, right? Like, oh, let me shade match myself on my inner arm, right? But that's not the same as your face, right? Your face doesn't have that same tone. So make sure you're shade matching at the right area. And right, exactly. See,
way different color.
Way later. It's like way different. So
I'm like white here and brown over here. Totally different colors.
Totally different. So make sure you're shade matching appropriately and leveraging your consultant. I did a session a couple weeks ago where we went through quite a few shades to find the one that she was really happy with, and so she really felt like she found her perfect match, which is the benefit of having a beauty consultant, right?
Absolutely. Okay, so really quick, let's talk again just for a second about this baby. So what I typically use this for is my under eye corrector. Stay tuned for next week because that's coming in part 3. But this is a really easy grip design if you want to use it for like blotting in your liquids or whatever you want to do. It's perfect for precision application because of the pointed tip and blending of liquid and cream foundations. So you can even use this with the endless cream to powder foundations as well as the tool that you would apply it with. The flat end is good for blending larger areas, and the pointed tip is good for your hard to reach areas like the inner corners of your eyes and things like that. This actually has an open cell structure to it. So it's designed to allow the sponge to absorb water and less product. So you can wet this a little bit before you use it. Now, it is really important, you guys, for all of your foundation brushes that you are cleaning them really, really well. You want to make sure daily, and honestly, I can't say that I do it daily, but I'm going to tell you that you should. Allison does because she's a good girl. I'm not. But you should use our Mary Kay brush spray daily to just give these a little clean it, okay? Once a week, you want to use Dawn, or I love to use our Timewise bar soap. I love to use it. Now, if I use that, I use a little bit of alcohol on there too to kind of kill any bacteria, which the Dawn will help. It will kill bacteria. But I just love the soap because for me, it's so easy to just run this over the soap, hang it on the side of the sink like this, and let it dry. So you never wash your brushes and lay them flat, or they will be flat on one end. Always let them hang off the side or down. Okay? So that's what you want to do. You can also clean this the same way. So I have 2 of these. One I use, and then one is clean, and then I swap them out. So it just makes it easier so that while one is drying, I'm not able to not use one. Okay? So that's some more with the tools. Now, really quick, as we close out, I want to tell you that we do have 2 other foundations that we should mention. One is our mineral pressed powder foundations. They are pressed into a little square. They're lightweight, ultra-fine powder that's pressed down. It gives an invisible layer of oil control and keeps your makeup looking fresh throughout the day. How I like to think of the mineral pressed powder is as a touch-up powder. Excuse me, I always think of Jen Albertini. If you've ever gone anywhere with Jen Albertini, she has one in a compact, and every time we're done something, she's always like dabbing her face with it, okay? So you may want it for a touch-up powder throughout the day if you find that, you know, maybe you get a little oily or whatever, because it actually helps to control shine and any excess oil for up to 8 hours. It's also suitable for sensitive skin like all of these, and it's oil-free. It comes in 6 shades. So if you're interested in any of those, you can talk to your beauty consultant about trying that. Now, a foundation that we are going to touch on way more next week is our Silky setting powders, okay? Now, why I'm going to talk about this tonight is because you can 100% wear this alone, okay? If you wear it alone, it is an extremely lightweight, velvety, smooth powder. Your face will literally look velvety soft. You cannot use this, unfortunately, because you make a mess, okay? Have a lip gloss. And so I love to wear this sometimes by myself when I want more of a sheer coverage. Now, the other time that you're going to use it maybe is to set your liquid. That's what we're going to talk about next week. We're going to talk about how you're going to set just a CC cream look, or a CC cream plus liquid foundation look, or just a liquid look using either the Silky setting powder or our translucent powder, and why you might choose one option over the other. But I do want you to know that this did replace our mineral powder and that you can wear it by itself, but it all has to come down to coverage. Now, in case you didn't know, you can use this brush, which is the all over powder brush, to apply it, or you can actually use our cheek brush. So if you want, this is going to give you the sheerest form of coverage with the Silky setting powder. Hold this one. This one is going to give you the next level of coverage. And if you want a more full coverage with the Silky setting powders, you can actually use this to apply it. So you can dab, and I'll kind of show you what I mean. You can kind of dab the end of it in there and apply it like this, okay, to your face, even if it's just by itself. So if you try this and you're like, I think I need a little bit more coverage, it's not the product, it's the brush. So make sure that you're using the right tool with these Silky setting powders to get the right effect, okay?
And don't forget about your skin type too, because if you are normal to dry, you probably want to use that. I don't have mine on me, but you might want to use that all over powder brush to just dust. That's what I do. If you are more oily, you want to pack it in more to give you more of that oil control. So not only is it the coverage you want, but you also have to think about your skin type.
Yes, absolutely. So we hope that we educated you a little bit on how to find your right shade, okay? If you don't know your shade and you want to know your shade, go to your Mary Kay Consultants website if you can't get in person with her, and there is a foundation shade matching quiz on there that will help to determine your foundation, the type of foundation you are going to want, all of that fun stuff. Okay, so go to your consultant's website. If you don't have it, ask her for it, and you can take the foundation quiz. If you're willing to meet with your consultant in person, you can do in-person stripe testing. Like Ashley was saying, you know, it might take a couple chances. So it will really help you to know which one is going to be the one that you're going to need for your skin type and skin tone. So next week, we are going to do set it and forget it. Okay, we're going to talk about concealers, which in this situation, if I were using just a powder, my concealer would have gone underneath. But if you're using liquid, your concealer and under eye corrector is going to actually go over top of your liquid, but before powder. So we'll cover all that, more on Silky setting powder, translucent powders, all of that next week in part 3. Okay. Have a great, great, great week, everybody. We hope you're enjoying everything in the social rescue group. If you have an idea of something you'd like to see in April, just let us know. See ya.